the opening changed? Because I remember some scenes where you're drinking in the bar and you get knocked off your chair, and like it begins a lot more quickly than that. You drop into the action straight away. So has it changed?
It hasn't changed. What we've done is the stuff that you saw before. What we've done is we've made sure that we've always wanted to make sure the player jumps into the action quickly. But what we have is we have a few memories that are placed throughout the game.
Right.
So that you get that sense of, it's really difficult to create a situation where you know and love these people that you've been that are your family right from the beginning, and get you into the action at the same time. So for us, it was all about putting in breadcrumbs and making sure that there were little moments in the game through hallucinations or through moments where Jason's kind of doubting himself to say, okay, what about my friends, what about my family, and to remember those moments. So you've seen some of them, but not all of them.
One thing I did notice, well, it's hard not to notice, it's such an intensely colourful world, and I hadn't noticed that before. Have you just turned up the colours throughout development?
I think it's something that we've been aiming for all the way through, with both regard to the world and everything that's in there as well, is that we want it to be this place that's really visually appealing. We want you to feel like this world is super alive, it's somewhere that you want to go off and explore. And then the important thing about it as well is that it's not somewhere that's going to leave you alone, that it's this beautiful place, you get lost just looking at the place, and then suddenly it just kind of like turns around and tears your throat out. And that's kind of like a theme that we want to be looking at throughout the whole game, is that you have this huge contrast between the beauty of the place and then the horror of the place as well.
So you say that Far Cry is a game of sort of systems and sort of systems working together. After playing it for 3 hours, I've had a few stories of like just driving into someone and both cars went off the cliff, and then we ended up fighting at the bottom of a waterfall. So like that is just magical stuff. I mean, so have you had any moments like that yourself that you'd like to share?
Definitely. I mean, there's all sorts. There's loads. There was my particular favourite was watching one of the people playing at PAX recently, and they were just getting killed by buffalo the whole time, just like constantly getting chased down and constantly getting gored by horns and that kind of thing. And it was we told them, just be careful around buffalo. They're buffalo, for God's sakes. But they didn't listen, and they kept doing it, and it was happening again. It was like, oh, here we go again, sort of thing. And then suddenly, from out of nowhere, this tiger just came screaming out the bush and just completely nailed this buffalo as it's about to kill this person. And it's that kind of unexpected life that you get, where suddenly things happen that we're never quite sure about how the systems are going to behave together. So you get these amazing emergent moments.
You came from a film and TV background and moving into games. I mean, we're used to sort of the idea being that you could move from games to a more respectable sort of medium like TV or film. Is it kind of why the move this way?
No, I think you look at the fact that the line between movies and certainly movies and games is blurring completely, and you look at the amount of talent that Ubi's been able to amass and the amount of talent that we've applied to Far Cry 3, and you look at the performances and the actors that we're getting and the emotion. The goal is, whether it's a movie, whether or not it's just an individual scene, whether or not it's a script you're reading, whether or not it's a game or a cinema, to get the little hairs on the back of your neck to stand up on end and make it feel like, okay, this is real. And Far Cry is about making it feel real and then twisting it a little, and we have absolutely hit that, absolutely.
And you're a game that approaches sort of 3 themes that are, considered risky, not because they're touchy, but because they're so frequently done very badly. So you're a game that you do drugs, and drug trips can be, the depiction of drugs can be excruciating. Sex can be done badly, and mental illness is just frequently misrepresented. How responsible do you feel about treating these subjects sort of sensibly?
I think it's all about creating a world where the theme is serious, and a world where we treat those different kind of thematics in a way that feels congruent with the world that we're in. We're not just treating those themes flippantly, but it's all in the context of the story that we have. So it's all about making sure that the story feels real, the story feels gritty, the story feels emotional, and the things that you're going to see in the world feel like they should be, and like they are a realistic part of that world.
It's got to be credible, right? I mean, the reality is that if we got on a plane and we went over to an island like this, and it had a different set of rules, and there was no law there, we'd probably eat some things we weren't supposed to. We'd probably have some experience we weren't supposed to, and saying that we wouldn't is ridiculous. Yeah. So you go over there and you have every bit of that as a slice of life. And the reality is that what we're trying to show is that this slice of life, you grow up, you watch Jason grow up in a very short amount of time, and effectively go from a boy to a man and have the breadth of the experiences that you'd naturally have.
Every now and then you get a cutscene which just does lines from Alice in Wonderland, and which begs the question: how much of this is actually real?
It's a good question.
And is that a spoiler? Is it real, Dan?
Well, let me tell you this. The reality is that what we set up was we set up little moments in the game where you would wonder, okay, well, was that a memory? Is it something I'm seeing in the future? You go through life and you have moments that shock you, right? Yeah. Everybody's convinced as they go through life, well, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to be, this is how it's going to work, and this is why it's fair. Life's not like that. The game shouldn't be like that. It should give you forks in the road. It should give you moments where something comes out of left field and you got to deal with it. And so the best way for us to showcase that is to put in little moments that beg the player's thought. And we do that with hallucinations, we do that with memories, we do it with audio.
Obviously sharks and the killing of a shark is probably going to be quite a big thing. I mean, how would you go about killing a shark? Can you punch it?
You can punch it, yes. You can punch sharks, I can confirm here and now.
Can sharks be punched to the point of death, to the brink of death and beyond?
Not that far. I mean, we want to keep a modicum of realism here, right? So unfortunately, you carry a big knife, so that kind of, all escalates pretty quickly.
Can you punch a shark in the nose so hard that it holds its flipper to its nose and says, ow?
Not yet, but soon, yes.
There's a few things you spot in the world and things that you loot that seem useless but intriguing. Like, I found an ace of hearts, a card, some handcuffs. What are these, just sort of like intriguing curios? Do they have any use in the world?
They may.
Does the picture of a sexy dwarf have anything to do with the world?
I will let your imagination run. The game is what you make of it.
Okay.